Congratulations on your new bike from ERIK'S. At ERIK'S, we want to ensure that your new bike is assembled properly and safely. This short video should be used alongside the Bike Reassembly Instructions PDF to help you reassemble your bike. If for any reason you don't feel confident performing these steps, we recommend that you have your bike reassembled by a qualified local bicycle mechanic. If you have a performance bike, be sure to check out our Performance Bike Assembly video. Now, before your bike was even shipped to you, it was fully built and double-checked by our professional assembly team, who then carefully packaged it up and sent it out to you. To fully reassemble your new bike, you really only need a few tools: a scissors, a bike multi-tool, a 15mm wrench, a bike pump, and a good waterproof grease. If you have a torque wrench, be sure to use that too. These simple tools will get your bike assembled and on the trails. Let's get started. First, take some time to inspect the package for damage. If you suspect that anything isn't right, save all of the package and take photos of the damage. Open up the box and remove the bike. Carefully remove the zip ties holding everything together and do another inspection of the bike to ensure that nothing was damaged in shipping. We do our best to protect your new bike, but things happen. Take photos of the damage and contact us right away if something isn't right. Now, let's grab the instructions and get started. Take your seat post and apply some grease to the seat post and to the opening of the bike. Insert the post into the bike and snug up the bolt or the quick release lever. If you have a bike work stand, clamp the bike into that now. But if you don't have a work stand, don't worry, you can just use the shipping box to help prop the bike up throughout the rest of the process. Remove the stem bolts, attach the handlebars to the bike, and snug up the bolts. Don't worry about getting the handlebars set perfectly, we're going to come back to that once the front wheel is on. Now for the brakes. If the front disc brake caliper has been removed, attach the caliper loosely to the fork and remove the brake block if one was inserted. Install the front wheel and center the caliper by pulling on the brake lever and holding the brake closed. Tighten up the bolts and fine-tune if necessary. Be sure that all of your cables are secured using the mounting clips or zip ties. If your bike uses rim brakes and the caliper has been removed, insert the threaded post into the fork with the serrated washer between the fork and the brake. Insert the long nut into the back of the fork and loosely tighten. Insert the wheel and close the quick release, then attach the cable. Center the brake and tighten the bolt to the correct torque. If your bike has V-brakes, insert the wheel and close the brake by hand. Insert the brake noodle into the noodle holder and make sure that it's fully seated. Let's go back and get a little more in depth about how to get those wheels on. If your bike has a quick release, start by opening the brake caliper. For road rim brakes, flip the quick release lever up to open the brake. If your bike has disc brakes, you don't have to do anything. Take the quick release skewer out of the box and remove the nut and one of the cone-shaped springs. Insert the quick release into the hub and install the spring and the nut so that the lever is on the non-drive side of the bike. Insert the wheel into the fork and place the bike on the ground. Hold the lever parallel to the ground and tighten the nut until you feel some tension on the lever. Using the palm of your hand, push the lever up and into the fork. The lever should leave an imprint on your hand from the amount of force used. Adjust the nut until you get the correct tension on the quick release lever. If you can read close on the lever, you did it right. If your bike uses a through axle, insert the wheel into the fork and center the brake rotor between the brake pads. Insert the through axle through the fork in the hub and tighten to the correct torque. For bolt-on wheels, align all of the bolts and washers. If your bike uses safety washers, insert the tabs of the washers into the slots on the fork and tighten the nuts with a wrench. Now that the wheel is on, you can center and level your handlebars. For flat bar bikes, the handlebars will be set correctly when the brake levers are at a 45-degree angle. If your bike uses drop bars, they should be level across the top. Tighten the stem bolts in an X pattern and be sure that the gap is the same on the top and the bottom. Grease the threads and install your pedals, making sure that you're using the right pedal on the right side and the left pedal on the left side. The left pedal is reverse threaded, so remember to always tighten your pedals by turning them towards the front of the bike. If your bike features an air fork, use a shock pump to set it to the correct air pressure. Check out the manufacturer's website for all the correct settings. Some electric bikes feature headlights and a display unit. These may have been removed but are simple to attach. Insert the light bolt through the frame and tighten. The display unit will clip into place or clamp back onto the handlebars. Be sure to attach your battery to the charger and top it off before your first ride. Finally, set your saddle height and be sure that your saddle is straight. Tighten the bolt or the quick release and you're all done with reassembly. Take a little time to wrap things up by spinning the wheels to be sure that the brakes aren't rubbing, and then squeeze the lever to be sure that you've got good stopping power. Double check that your handlebars are tight and that all of your gears are working. Install your reflectors, and you're ready to go. Thanks again for choosing ERIK'S for your new bike. Now, let's get riding.